Welcome back, trainers, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Shadow Staraptor. This is one of my favorite things to use. Now it is also extremely difficult to use as well as a shadow and as a non-shadow. Now we do have its community day move Gust, which is also going to be doing a lot of damage. Think of it as a confusion or kind of a charm, but for the flying types. And we do have close combat as well as Brave Bird. Now its other charge move is going to be Heat Wave, which is not a good move whatsoever, but technically you could run Brave Bird and Heat Wave and then you would have a move that doesn't debuff you, but it's almost better to just have close combat a lot of the time, and that's what we're going to go with here. It also does have Wing Attack and Quick Attack, which those are both great moves, so it has a variety of different quick moves that it can use. The only thing that it does need is something like Aerial Ace, anything that's going to bait it without debuffing it, because right now it's kind of like a kamikaze type Pokemon. It's just going to go in there, do a bunch of damage, but also debuff itself. Unless you have shields or a way out, you're not going to be looking good. Also, once you do debuff yourself, more than likely you're going to be taking a ton of damage from the quick moves anyways, unless you're going up against, say, something with a ground move or a ghost move like Shadow Claw or something like that. But with that said, let's see what we have. We're going to be pairing it up with a couple of different Pokemon here. For the entire video, we will have Hitmontop alongside it, as it is going to be equipped as my best buddy here. And let's see what we have. This is going to be a great lead up against Mandibuzz here. There's no need to bait. We're just going to go straight for that Moonblast. Super effective, and they're letting it go. So after this, we can go ahead and go for that Meteor Mash. What we can do at this point, since we're going to be comfortable to let another one of those Aerial Aces go, is farm up a little bit more energy so we're ready for the next Pokemon and have energy to go so we can do some damage here. Building up to about 2 of those Meteor Mashes and going for that first one. And getting shields is also going to be pretty good for you to set up the Staraptor so it can be clear to do as much damage as it can. Now, it is glassy, but man, it does hit super hard. It hits extremely hard. All right, so we're up against this Jellicent here, so we are going to be okay to bring in the Staraptor. Granted, hopefully they don't have an Ice Beam, but for the most part, we're going to be okay. Surf does a decent amount, but their Ghost Quick move is really, it's not doing much. Now, we're going to go ahead and shield up this one because we don't want to get too low. And we're going to go ahead and go for that Brave Bird here, which will obviously KO. And they're going to be letting it go, holding on to that last shield. They do have a Scrafty, and I retreat because, well, we have the Hitmontop in the back. And since we did debuff ourselves, we would have still take a ton of damage from the Scrafty's quick move because we are part normal. You know how they have to do that with the flyers. They just have to, right? So not a great lead up against that Charizard. And we're going to go ahead and swap into the Staraptor here. And we'll shield up this Dragon Claw, which kind of hurt, but we're doing so much damage. I think we're going to go for a double shield and farm down. So we're using both of the shields right out the gate. Unfortunately, this is what's going to be required. And what is even worse is my butt did not count, and now we're at to eat it, and we're barely getting to the close combat. Could you imagine? I would have just backed out straight up. It would have been over. So we're getting one shield from them. We have no shields ourselves. Okay, good play there. And we're bringing in Hitmontop. Going to go straight for the triple axle. They're letting it go, raising that attack. All right, they stopped moving for a second here. I don't know what was going on, but they do have a Virizion in the back, which you're going to see how much Gust does from a Shadow Staraptor. We will be seeing that 4 times effective damage, and it is beautiful. Bringing in the Clefable here up against the Virizion, and we're going to go ahead and go straight for that Moonblast, seeing that we're clear to do that. They have no more shields, and that Ampharos, it's over. And remember, they did have a couple of seconds there where they weren't attacking. I don't know if that was just a visual glitch, but that did occur. And I was encountering all kinds of lag today as well. I lost a few battles, as a matter of fact, because I couldn't hit my charge move. It was like, hello. Can I hit the charge move now? No, we're going to keep on letting you attack. All right, we're up against a Cresselia here, which is... it's okay, I guess. We'll take it. So they're going to be retreating, and they bring in, what was that, a Registeel? I saw that lock on. Yep, sure did. They caught a Moonblast. Very nice catch. So we're going to go ahead and bring in the Hitmontop. Now, the way this works is you let the first one go. It's no problem. You can absorb that. And now you're good to go for a close combat here. It's not like they're going to farm you down with lock-on, right? It's happened, but that's too much health, obviously. They're bringing in the Cresselia, and we're going to go ahead and go for the triple axle and start doing as much as we can here. And I don't think I get to the next one. It's barely. And that sucks because now that Cresselia is loaded up on energy and I'm going to have to shield one way or another. Or I think what I do here is actually I let the Clefable just absorb everything. Straight up a future sight, and they have him a Machamp. So look at the quick move damage. I mean, it took, what, 4 of those gusts, and it's out of here up against that Shadow Machamp. Shielding that up, and then we're going to go ahead and farm them down. And we're good to go. Oh, almost farming them down. We'll have to use our last shield here. And they didn't really get a chance to use their shields, okay? So the quick move pressure was insane there with that gust. All right, so I wanted you to see this. I'm just going to leave it in. So I put a Tapu Fini in the front, right? Oh, okay. Sure, all right, sounds good. Let's see what we're going to get here. Just for the fun of it, let's see what happens. So Tapu Fini, take a guess, take a guess. It is a Virizion. All right, so sweet. So we're going to go ahead and swap. And there's a Steelix. Now, I could have stayed here, but if they shield this up, you know, it's not looking too good for me. I could bring in the Tapu Fini, but yeah, that was a bit of a headache getting hard counter. You just can't have fun and go Paddle League. Next game, we're going to be met with a Glissopod here, and we'll take it. Wouldn't really mind being matched up against this with my Staraptor resisting that Shadow Claw. All right, so we're going to be shielding that up, and they do bring in their Wall Rain. So we're going to go ahead and throw this Crunch here, see if we can lower that defense or get a shield, great, and bring in the Hitmontop, which is going to be doing some pretty good damage with it. And raising your attack with counter after you use Triple Axle is pretty crazy. So we're just going to go straight for the close combat. I figure they're going to let it go, and I'm not trying to raise my attack for this situation here, right? So they're bringing in that Glissopod. Now, ooh, I go for the close combat, but it doesn't really matter because we're toast anyways. They're going to take us out with Aerial Ace. Now this is our time to see the damage we can do, and that one little quick move was a ton, but they're retreating into a Cobalion, so we're going to go ahead and bring in our Granbull here and see what happens. We know they're going to probably go for, oh nope, Stone Edge. Just going to say Sacred Sword. Holding on to our last shield with the Staraptor. It's all up to the Spice Sovereign. Let's go. That's what's on the shirt, you know, the Spice Sovereign. It's not Articuno. Okay. I mean, come on, I'm Valor. If anything, I get a Valor logo. All right, Staraptor taking that win for us with the quick move Gust. Insane damage, stab plus shadow. All right, next game, we're met with a Ampharos in the front here. This is fine. We know they have Trailblaze more than likely and Brutal Swing. So at this point, Trailblaze would take us out. So I do shield it up, and it is a Trailblaze. Great. Now they just raised their attack. Getting to the next charge move, I figure it's going to be a Brutal Swing, but it might be enough to KO. And we barely survive with 1 HP, and we're able to get off our charge move, going straight for the Crunch for the potential debuff. And it is a Tapu Fini. Okay, well, it's still worth that. Bringing in the Staraptor because we don't want to go in there with the Hitmontop doing not very effective quick move damage. So we're just going to go ahead and bring in this, letting that Surf go and going for the close combat to see if we can get a shield from them. And we do. Since we did so much damage with the Gust, we're going to go ahead and bring in the Hitmontop at this point. Also, we debuffed ourselves and we don't want them to farm us down. Letting that Surf go and kind of putting our hope into whatever's in the back that we can take on. Hopefully, we're not going to see a Charm user. That would be bad. It's over. And it's a Tangrowth. Okay, well, this is getting a little interesting here. We're going to have to shield it up. We know that the Tapu Fini's not quite at a shield yet, and we needed that, or not quite at a charge move yet. We needed that last shield there, which is perfect. We'll shield this up. We raised our counter damage. Hopefully, we can counter them down, and we do perfectly. And we're going to go ahead and go for the close combat to finish them off after we did raise our attack. Even on regular close combat would have been enough without your attack raise at that point. That was a good game. Moving it on. Starting it off with the Granbull, met with a Machamp. That's great. And swapping into Wall Rain, we're going to go ahead and bring in that Hitmontop immediately here. And we'll let this go. I think I swapped fast enough. I might have to shield up to take this win. So it looks like I am going to go for the Triple Axle. Let's see if we can get a shield out of them. No shield, unfortunately, but that's okay. Now we will shield this up as the Machamp isn't really too much of a threat, and we've already raised our attack. And we will be able to get to a charge move, more than likely getting a shield at whatever they do bring in. So this is okay. And it is going to be that Machamp. And we still need to worry about them hitting us with a Rock Slide up against the Granbull, because that will be doing a lot. Doing a decent amount of damage to them. Now I can either go with the Staraptor or this, and I choose to go with the Granbull because we can actually take the hit and survive here. And they have a Tapu Fini in the back. So we swap into the Staraptor and look at the damage. I mean, that is just freaking incredible. Now, it's almost matching in return because we're so squishy. So it's not like, oh man, they're doing a lot of damage too. It's because Staraptor is just an extreme glass cannon. Getting to that first close combat and not getting to the next one, unfortunately. This is getting a little interesting. Down goes the Staraptor, bringing in the Granbull to charm them out of here. Let's go. Are we going to be able to get to a charge move? Going for the close combat immediately here, just in case they were almost able to get to their cross chop. So we're just going to go ahead and take them out and get that win there. Move on to our next game. Met with a Pelipper. Okay, we'll take it here. So Gramble is going to be pretty squishy itself too. That's just the way it goes. We're going to let that first Wither Ball go. Since we're doing so much damage with the charm here, I think we're going to shield this one up to see if they want to kind of match us in the shield. And they're actually going to retreat. So we're going to retreat with energy on the Gramble and bring in the Hitmontop here. Don't want to use a shield this entire time, so we're going to have to try to pull this off. And what we are going to do is actually, I think we do take the loss up against the Steelix because we don't use a shield. We'll bring in the Gramble, go for Crunch, and then see what the Staraptor can do. Hopefully there's like a Virizion in the back that we can absolutely annihilate and see that there. Anyways, Hitmontop going for another triple axle, and they're going to be using that first shield here. Almost could have farmed me down, but they're going to be going for that charge move. Breaking Swipe sounds good to me. Gramble has a close combat and a Crunch ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Crunch so we don't lower our defense and we can kind of do a little bit of damage before they do take us down, whatever they do bring in here. But we're immediately swapping it. It is a freaking Virizion. Look at the damage. 2 Gust, bring it down to half health. So 4 Gust is enough to take out Virizion with that 4 times weakness. They swap into the Pelipper and they think to themselves, you know, this is over. And it was. Good game. Next game, what are we going to see? A Charizard. All right, bad lead for me here. We're going to go ahead and just hold our ground and actually just call all of their Dragon Claws. How about that? Let's just keep charming them as if the charm is not even resisted and get to the Crunch as a matter of fact and even have them use a shield. Again, we're not going to shield this up. More than likely it's a Dragon Claw. Not using a shield here. Going for this. Hopefully we get the defense drop. It will have a decent amount of energy when they do farm us down, so we will shield up whatever we bring in, but at least we'll be able to farm up energy. But they're immediately swapping and locking themselves in here with the Giratina. Now, I don't know if this is going to be an ancient power, so we're going to go ahead and shield it up. They're hitting me with the Dragon Claw, so what I'm going to do at this point is let them throw, farm up a little bit more so we don't debuff ourselves. We can take this hit a lot better before we're, you know, debuffed by 2 stages. And then Shadow Claw still resisted, so we're good to go. They swap into a Gengar. I'm thinking, son of a gun. All right, we're okay still because we have Staraptor, which is resisting it, and we're going to do a ton of damage with Gust because Gengar itself can't take a hit. So we'll let this Shadow Punch go, and come on, tell me, oh, they throw the next one, which is kind of good too, and definitely do not want to use this shield here, otherwise we're over. All right, so bringing in the Staraptor, and they're actually getting to the charge move. We're going to have to use this here, and now we're going to have to farm down the Gengar. Let's see, can we do it? 1 and 2. We take out that Gengar, take the win with that extreme Gust damage. Next game, we're going to be seeing a Virizion, which is a great lead, also for the Staraptor as well, so pretty nice. They're going to be swapping into a Steelix and immediately bringing in the Hitmontop. Now, I don't go for close combat because it's just, you never know who's shielding up or not. I mean, you go for a close combat and you're already screwed with that debuff on yourself. For the defense, they're going to be able to farm you down much easier. So I just go for the triple axle, play it safe here. And if anything, I'll use a shield if I feel like I need to win this matchup here. All right, so we're going to go for the triple axle. And now they're using a shield. At this point, they can farm us down. But they are going to be throwing here, so that's perfect. We'll shield up. Let's see. And now we win that matchup. Let's go, because counter is just so quick, and we have a triple axle ready to go after we raise our attack, but they've also lowered it with the breaking swipe, but it's a Tapu Fin, so it doesn't even matter. Bringing in the Gramble, and now we're kind of in an interesting situation here. Let's see what happens. It's all up to the Staraptor here in a second. Able to get to the Crunch. Hopefully this is going to be a debuff. Yeah, and it is. And they use their last shield. Great. So they're swapping into their Virizion. We're going to let this go. Sacred Sword still doing a ton of freaking damage. I mean, this is it. This is the spicy thing to use. Getting to the Brave Bird up against this Tapu Fin, and we take the win. My gosh. It was rough out here today with this thing, but it was definitely satisfying. Next game, we're met with a Greninja. Great lead. They're going to be swapping into an Alolan Shadow Muck. All right, and we're going to go ahead and bring in the Hitmontop, just out here dancing it up like crazy. So we're going to go ahead and go for that Icy Wind. They did go for an Acid Spray, lowering our defense, and the Poison Jab is just adding up more and more. I made the mistake of not... Oh, never mind, I did shield this up. Okay, no, I made the mistake of not throwing the freaking... Oh, triple axle. That's the mistake I made there. So that whole thing was in vain. Lovely. Okay, so bringing in the Gramble. Let's see if we can pull this around here. So we have a Greninja. We need to get this Charm User up against it. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this Crunch, then swap into the Staraptor here. But this is not looking good for us. I'm not going to lie. So I don't know. After we use this, it's a wrap. That Cresselia has a bunch of energy. But hey, you try with Staraptor. It's very difficult to use. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you do give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.
Ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Hey! So you're finally here! Fantastic!